Now listen carefully.
We want to know who's the land.
Chinese are ruling the Chinese land.
We want to know who's the land.
Japan is ruled by Japanese.
We want to know who's the land.
England is governed by Englishmen.
We want to know who's the land.
America is governed by Americans.
We want to know who's
So,
the land.
Africa must be ruled by Africans.
We want to know who's the land.
I wanna know who owns the land.
We want to know who's the land.
We must rule from Cape to Cairo.
We want to
Hello and welcome today. We are coming to you from Relentless Gaming Centre right here in Entebbe. And I like the slogan that it has. It has a slogan that is very unique, like with the game. So this is a place where energy is very high and the passion for gaming never stops. And with a very powerful slogan like this, we're here today with the owner of the place, apparently. We have with us somebody who's going to introduce himself, tell you about who he is, before we can get into what we have to dive into. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for interviewing me today. And actually, it's a privilege to give you a little insight about my life journeys and how I got here and how I all started. So I want to say thank you.
Okay. So we're here with the Pan Africanist Promotion Team. Pan-Africanism obviously is something to do with Africans, and those who know about Pan-Africanism, we know that we have to fight for Africa. We have a little reasons why we have to dive into the depth of why Africa should be alone, why Africa should be one, and we have very many things we want to know about how we can get there. So with me today, I'm Troy Hakinda, your host, and I'm going to be asking you a few questions that I would personally want you to answer for me, because you're a true African like I am, and your perspective of all that I will be asking you will be so grateful to everyone that is listening in. Thank you. Okay, so let's dive right in. Mr. Antonio, I would want to know something. Can you introduce yourself to the people? Tell them about your background, where you're from, and what led you to relocate to the current location that you're in right now.
Well, I was originally born in the city of Miami, Florida, in the heart of one of the most quote-unquote rundown cities in Miami, which is known as Liberty City. My name is Antonio again, Antonio Nuri. I'm 42 years old. And just growing up, I always had a sense of belonging to Africa. And that sense of belonging has always stood with me. And as I grew older and became older, I decided to take that journey itself and do a lot of reading and research. And this is what brought me here to Uganda. I have not relocated yet, but if you want to say that, being that I'm an established business owner here, that's considered that I have relocated. And I'm very happy to be here.
We're welcome to have you right here in the country where we are. And right here, we're in Uganda. So Mr. Antonio is in Uganda. Apparently, he has one establishment right here that we shall talk about very briefly as we get to know you very shortly. So I want to ask you a question. What really triggered or triggers your Pan-Africanism consciousness? What brings about you to think about Africa and say, oh yeah, I have to go to Africa, I have to visit Africa? Is it because you're black? Is it because you love the country or you love the continent? What is it?
Well, I think Africa is in my DNA. I think I was just a unique specimen. Growing up, I always had this strong sense of passion for Africa. I recall in the third grade, actually I was in kindergarten actually, and we wrote an essay. The teacher, the essay topic was, what would you do if you had $1 million? And my answer was that I would supply food. I would have a cargo plane full of food and donate it to Africa. And that was when I was in kindergarten. So I was a very young kid and I always had that passion for Africa. It was just in my DNA, I guess.
All right. So you've heard about Malcolm X, you've heard about Nelson Mandela, you've heard about all these great people who have been fighting for Africa. And currently we have people like Captain Ibrahim Traore. What drives you to be Pan-Africanist? What makes you believe in Pan-Africanism? What makes you believe we should fight for Africa?
Well, I think the journey started when I was approximately 21 years old. I was incarcerated through a for approximately 16, 18 months. And throughout their incarceration, there was a strong sense of awakening. Looking at the population of African Americans and inmates, once I started a member of African American inmates, I started to realize that something was wrong with this situation, and I wanted to look deeper into our history and our struggles, and this is how I came about with a sense of African Pan-African consciousness.
Okay, you see, talking about the American inmates, you've seen the American black people. I love to call them black because they are black. You've seen the black American. You've seen how far and distant they are from the Africans who are actually on the continent. Talk about a bridge and tell us what you think. Do you think we can cover that bridge between the black people on the continent and those who are not on the continent? Because some of them have originality back here in Africa. Some of them have bloodline that run back here to Africa. Some of them have left Africa and they've gone to, the diaspora and they are there. So what bridge and what can you talk about that?
Well, me and also, I have relatives also from the Bahamas as well. So my father's from Bahamas, my mom was born in the U.S. So traveling to Bahamas, there's a strong sense of African presence in Africa. I think whenever you go around, whether it's in America or in the Caribbean islands, you can still feel that strong sense of African connection there. But I think it's unconsciously that they are connected to the motherland African itself. So I think it comes with the process of education. I think once you re-educate the population in itself, but it has to be a first willingness of one's own self to kind of educate themselves, to really kind of connect and have a sense of purpose and a sense of belonging to Africa. So the Africans in the diaspora, they have forgotten, or let's say perhaps maybe misinformed or miseducated about their origins and how significant role that they play in Africa. Their DNA biologically connected to Africa. And I feel that once they understand the sense of pride and who they are and know that our rich history doesn't start with slavery and understand that we are great people. And I think they will want to take that personal journey and re-education to really understand themselves and how they connect with Africa itself. So that's my take on that.
So speaking about educating the Africans and talking about how they should get aware about Africa and their nationalities and everything, are you involved in any kind of Pan-Africanism initiative? Are you part of any Pan-Africanist group that, is taking part in getting Africans together? Are you trying to initiate, are you in any kind of way part of the Pan-Africanism?
No, I have not found an official organization or any committed group of people who are actually seriously involved in Pan-Africanism, but as an individual, I believe in the Pan-African principle, and I do my own charity work at times and try to help out those who are less fortunate. So it's not on a mass Pan-African movement, but I think I'm doing that right now by establishing this business, trying to get back to the community. So that's just my way right now, just make a small step towards that commitment.
So Captain Ibrahim Traore is a very big and very crucial symbol of Pan-Africanism. Is one of the biggest young leaders we are having, who we are seeing in Africa, rising so high that very many people are trying to bring him down because he's a youth resistant, very anti-imperialistic. Yeah, he's not into the imperialism and all that. So since he's fighting all so hard, what do you think about and what are your thoughts about his leadership today? What do you think? Do you think what he's doing is representing Africa? Do you think he's trying to represent a war? Do you think he's trying to represent us fighting for ourselves?
Well, I think that he is a primary example of what we all should do, even on a small scale. I don't think we have to be on a big scale to make a difference in the lives of others and those who are around us and our families. So what Ibrahim Traore is doing actually has inspired me on many levels. It has taught me the importance of embracing your own, investing your resources and to try to create opportunities of your own. It has that his stand is a reminder of the constant struggle that our ancestors have been going through many years, the great courageous efforts to try to seek to it that we are recognized as human beings, that we are maximized to our full potential, we understand the importance of our resources and how they must be self-manufactured to create opportunities and jobs for ourselves. So what he's doing is a phenomenal thing, and I think the is very inspiring and very captivating to the youth and motivational in this whole totality. Everything what he's doing is very significant, profound. And I'm very inspired.
Talking about the youth right there, you talked about how youthful he is too, right? Do you think that Africa is entering a new era of revolutionary youth leaders? And if so, how can the diaspora support this movement?
Well, yeah, I think the revolution itself is from a micro level perspective. You probably won't walk out of here and you see it on a micro level, but I think subconsciously it's starting. So I think subconsciously as people itself go through that strong sense of awareness of themselves, again, go back to re-educate themselves on their true history and their true origin and their true greatness, I think we will begin to see it more in all aspects of our lives. As far as the African Americans and what role they play into the Pan Africanist movement, I think if you understand the dynamics of what's going on in America, I think it's more of a slower process. I think they are more consumed on entertainment. I think they are more consumed on materialism. But again, I think there's a small pocket of the elders there in the United States that is actually making a great statement and being a great example to what we can do and how we can come together to bring about that Pan-African movement on a mass scale. But I think African Americans play a significant role in the sense of their creativity and the sense of their strong passions for their resilience. I think they have gone through a lot due to our lineage and our ancestors. So I think they play a significant role only at the right time when they developing more of a consciousness of who they are and embrace their greatness.
Now, talking about the African leadership, you're from the diaspora. At least we're in Uganda, so I can say that openly. You're from the diaspora. The diaspora knows Africa for mostly the old leaders, because the old presidents. We don't have the likeness of the other world where they have the young presidents but right now we're having young and youthful rising leaders. We have, for example, Captain Ibrahim Traore. We have some African leaders who are rising, who are very young in other parts of Africa. Do you think and do you feel inspired and hopeful you see young African leaders like these set up against neocolonialism?
Yeah, I think the younger generation is more innovative in their thinking. I think it's out with the old and with the new. I think we need new minds to create new innovative solutions to our problems. So I'm really inspired in the sense that I'm 42 years old, and I'm hoping to come together with some great leaders and perhaps make them become a leader here in Uganda.
Yeah.
I think they're out with the old and with the new. I think we need the new minds to create new changes, and out with these old politicians who are puppets for the imperialists, and whose solutions who carries the mentality of outdated colonial puppets. So they're not doing anything that is beneficial to the economy, to the overall growth and development of the country, particularly Africa, particularly.
Privately, before this interview, you spoke about you having read Malcolm X's book. How did it influence you, and how did it influence your worldview and your decision to connect with Africa? Because Malcolm X is one of the Pan-Africanist people that I know in America. So what did he do in his book? What did he write? What did you see about the revolutionary Pan-Africanism?
Well, first and foremost, I consider Malcolm X my father. I mean, my biological father passed away when I was 1 year old, and I think I became a man after reading that autobiography of Malcolm X. I read that book 4 times, by the way, before I passed it on. So I carried it in my back pocket everywhere I went, and I read that book 4 times before I passed it on.
Thanks.
In that book, I saw my own personal struggles, my own personal experiences with the police there, growing up in a rundown community in Miami, seeing my family struggles, and also understanding the environments and looking around and saw my peers, we all was in the same struggle. So even though that book was written maybe 4 years before my time, but at the same time, the situation was current. So that book itself was my reality at my time, and that was a mirror reflection of what they was going through. So that's how I connected with with Malcolm X, and he became my hero. By the way, he saved my life.
In the same way that he became your hero, in one sentence or in one very, very nice message, would you tell us what your vision is for a united Africa and its diaspora?
Well, again, first I got to learn this language here. I want to become fluent in some languages, African languages.
What language do you know yet?
I know anything. I don't know how many languages here. I don't know any language but English.
You should learn some.
You know, definitely I wish I can learn. So, as far as my vision here, I'm just got to work for myself. Now, I don't think I'm really equipped right now to really have a full vision of what I would like to do. However, you know, this 6,000 itself, this 6,000 in here is just a step in that direction where I can actually make kids smile. My main focus is to make the kids smile, and in the process of doing that, I will learn the culture, learn to embrace the uniqueness of this Ugandan culture, and with those experiences, I will be more educated to perhaps give you a better answer to that in the near future.
Mr. Antonio, we're so grateful to meet you today. We're so happy. I know we took you by surprise almost in a short period of time, but we're so happy to have you on this segment. Just briefly tell Africa, what is your message to the young Black people around the world? What do you feel, because people are lost, people are disconnected from their roots, people don't know if they should come back to Africa. You were not born in Africa, I'm sure, but then you're here. So what's the message to all the Africans, the young ones and the old ones?
Well, you don't have to be born in Africa to be African. African is in our DNA, you know. So, you know, I don't consider myself an outsider. I'm consider myself a full-blood African. I am African. As far as the message to the youth, again, that's embrace ourselves, embrace our true history. Educate yourself, live a healthy life, connect with each other, unite with each other, and understand that we're one people. So in that process, once you come to that understanding, I think we will be able to come together with our resources, with our knowledge and wisdom, and perhaps come together and bring about some changes that we want to see. I say without us as politicians, we will come together with those like-minded, and we'll make a difference in the lives of Africa. So that's just my intake on that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Antonio. Well, this is Mr. Antonio from the Relentless Gaming Centre. Life is the game right here in Entebbe, Uganda. We're so proud and so happy to see you. We shall take a full video next time about your place, about your business, for Africans who are in Uganda to know about what you're doing. And if they need your services in other countries, I'm sure they will want to get in contact with you.
Japan is ruled by Japanese. We want to know who is the land. England is governed by Englishmen. We want to know who is the land. America is governed by Americans. We want to know who is the land. Africa
let's
must be
interview.
ruled by Africans. We want to know who is the land. I want to know who owns the land. We want to know who is the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We want to know who is the
So everything has a significant purpose. The floor,
Yeah, I was looking at the floor, the type of floor you put.
it's black, some black up there.
Uh-huh.
We are the foundation.
Of course.
Like this game done out there, we can play.